Every morning, millions of people make promises to themselves. Today, I'll exercise. Today, I'll stop scrolling. Today, I'll be patient. Yet by nightfall, many find themselves doing the exact things they swore they wouldn't. We are in a constant state of war with ourselves. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Paul of Tarsus wrote a confession about this exact contradiction. I do not understand what I do. For what I want to do, I do not do. But what I hate, I do. There is something inside you that watches this gap between your intentions and your actions. It registers every time you take the easy path instead of the right one. This is the conscience, from the Latin conscientia, meaning a kind of inner co-awareness. When you experience guilt, you aren't feeling an external punishment. You are feeling the internal cost of self-knowledge. It is the inescapable ache of recognizing the distance between what you actually did and what you know you should have done. While that wrestling match is agonizing, it is actually a positive signal. The person who feels nothing after failing is truly lost. The fact that your own wrongdoing troubles you proves that your moral compass is functioning and still reaching toward goodness. This diagram shows a single arrow veering wide, the core image behind the way early civilizations view our flaws. The ancient Hebrew word chata'a and the Greek word hamartia don't imply malice. They simply mean to miss the mark, an acknowledgement that falling short is an inherent feature of being human. Facing this persistent failure is psychologically painful. Because it hurts to look at the gap between who we are and who we want to be, our reflex is to aggressively look away. We suppress our misses. The ancient desert fathers spoke of fleeing temptation, but today that temptation arrives through algorithms, endless feeds, and constant busyness. We use the hypnotic glow of technology to deliberately drown out the conscience's quiet noise. When we fall down digital rabbit holes for hours, we are rarely pursuing actual pleasure. We are utilizing a highly engineered escape hatch to flee the discomfort of our own self-reflection. To understand the mechanics of this avoidance, we turn to the Swiss psychiatrist Carl Jung, who mapped the unconscious mind with scientific rigor. Jung identified a concept he called the shadow. This is the psychological underground where we store every desire, fear, and flash of anger we have decided is unacceptable about ourselves. Here is the mechanical law of the psyche. What you bury does not vanish. It goes into the dark and continues to operate and grow, completely free from your conscious control. Because this buried material is still active, it inevitably interacts with the outside world. This happens through a process called projection. Notice how the traits that trigger a hot, disproportionate rage in you often reveal something hidden in yourself. The arrogance that exhausts you, the laziness you loudly condemn. These people are acting as mirrors for the exact qualities you refuse to see in your own shadow. We are rarely in actual conflict with the outside world. We are in conflict with ourselves, and we use the people around us as screens onto which we project that internal civil war. Distraction only works for so long. Eventually, the pressure behind the dam builds, the avoidance strategies collapse, and the repressed material violently erupts into our lives through self-sabotage or disproportionate rage. Jung viewed persistent feelings of anxiety or neuroses as signals that occur when our psychological growth stagnates. In this framework, these symptoms function as the unconscious mind attempting to communicate, sometimes by throwing furniture, that something in the depths needs your attention. Modern culture treats this kind of suffering as a technical problem to be numbed. Ancient wisdom treated it as a diagnostic tool. Authentic suffering is a vital fire alarm warning you that your soul is critically out of alignment. Across cultures and millennia, from ancient Greek rites to psychoanalytic therapy, the remedy for this psychological isolation begins with the act of confession. Secrets kept entirely within the self fester. By naming your hidden darkness out loud, to a therapist, a trusted friend, or yourself on paper, you strip the secret of its corrosive power. Anything you can name, you can deal with. This logic points toward a counterintuitive idea, felix culpa, the happy fault. You cannot become a deeper person without having been broken. Without your specific failures and the pain caused by those transgressions, you lack the exact raw materials required to build genuine character, depth, and compassion. The moment we admit our contradictions, the mask cracks. The ultimate goal of human life is not a sterile, impossible perfection.
The goal is wholeness, and to be whole is to be honest enough to see your darkness, courageous enough to carry it, and wise enough to transform it.